the rest of the country is convulsed in a yes-no debate over the EU fiscal treaty referendum, there's a campaign of an entirely different nature happening here in Lusk. And this time it would seem that the vast majority of people are on the no side. So it seems that here in Lusk the battle lines have been drawn. Fingal County Council on one side with their plans for this giant wastewater treatment plant, and the people of Lusk who are vehemently opposed to it. Among the arguments they're putting forward are the fact that Lusk has had Ballaley dump on its doorstep for 40 years. It has had the threat of the Nevis super dump hanging over it for the last 10 years, only recently cancelled by Fingal County Council. Now the council seem intent to use Lusk as an area for processing sewage from outside the area. Not surprisingly, there's quite a negative reaction here. So here with me now is Damien O'Toole, one of the organisers of the meeting tonight. Damien, what's the point of this meeting tonight? Why have you called it?
Well, at this stage, Lorcan, Fingal County Council and Greater Dublin Drainage are opening the public consultation for this phase of the project, and we want to make the people of Lusk aware of what Fingal County Council are proposed, and that proposal effectively is to build a monster sewage plant right on the outskirts of this village, which will have a detrimental effect on the community here. This campaign has been running since late last year, since October, since we were made aware of the existence of this proposed plant in this area, and at this stage in the campaign we want to inform the local community of what Fingal County Council are proposing to do, and for them to express their opinions and views on whether they agree or disagree with the proposal to build this plant in this area. I think people here will actually be disgusted and annoyed at the possibility of this plant being built here. When you look at the proposal and the technical documents that Greater Dublin Drainage have submitted, the load areas are very far away in Dublin City, and yet they're proposing to build a 48 kilometre pipeline right through the heartland of North County Dublin to pump out the sewerage slightly south of Skerries. There are other alternatives in how this project can be delivered, and I think Fingal County Council need to be looking at those alternatives.
Senator Darragh O'Brien, you've turned up at this public meeting. What do you think of the latest developments?
Well, it continues to be a disastrous proposal from Fingal County Council and the Department of the Environment. It's great to see the people from Lusk mobilised here again this evening, but they continue to ignore the fact that 10,000 people in North County Dublin have signed petitions and have sent submissions in for very, very valid reasons opposing this monstrous plant. It makes no sense. We've given alternatives. We've 14 sewerage plants in North County Dublin. I don't have to tell you what the people in North Dublin feel. This should not go anywhere in North County Dublin. And the sooner that the Department of the Environment and the Minister for the Environment and Fingal County Council understand that, the better, because tonight is just a sample of the feeling of the people here in Lusk. I can tell you that the feeling from the people in Kinseely and in Malahide and Portmarnock is the same, and thankfully our neighbours in the other towns have stayed with us on this. So this is a campaign that's not going to go away, and we'll make sure we're successful, because this is too serious. This is about our kids, this is about our future generations here in North County Dublin, our quality of life.
A lot of people are asking, how can this be going ahead? Most of the councillors we've spoken to are against this. Even our own local minister, James Riley, has said he's opposed to this here. It seems that everybody is opposed to it, yet it seems to be going ahead. How can this be?
Well, that's the terribly frustrating thing of it. There's two things need to happen straight away. We need a meeting with Minister Phil Hogan, and Minister Riley needs to deliver that. Let's be straight about it. Two previous ministers, John Gormley and Dick Roche, before have met groups in North County Dublin opposing these proposals of Donabate. There's a precedent there. Secondly, what I would say, yes, most of our councillors are opposed to this, but unfortunately last week you would have seen that there was a vote in the council where 12 of our councillors voted against allowing residents of Fingal in to the council meeting to present their views. So 12 councillors actually voted against the public coming in to air their views to the local authority. That's insane. So 10 voted for a very simple proposal, a very sensible proposal, and 12 voted against it. So I can understand why people are getting frustrated here. Right, so I'm calling on Minister Riley. He's at the cabinet table. He needs to absolutely ensure that at the very least people can get face to face with Minister Hogan and put their views forward to him, because he is the paymaster at the end of the day. If he says no, this project doesn't happen. If he doesn't give the money, this project doesn't happen.
What do you think of the latest developments here?
Well, I think for the people of Lusk, Rush and the Nevis area, it's hugely disappointing. I mean, people in this area of North East County Fingal have had to endure decades of dealing with not only Fingal's waste but Dublin's waste in the form of Ballaley, almost the Nevis, a new hazardous waste landfill up in the Knoll, or near the Knoll, and now we're faced with a potentially one of two locations for the major wastewater treatment plant.
Fingal County Council or Greater Dublin Drainage are adamant that this plant is absolutely necessary and it has to go somewhere. If that is the case, where should it go? Nobody will want it.
Okay, well, the first thing is I think it's important to differentiate between Fingal County Council and the management of Fingal County Council. The elected representatives, by legislation, have absolutely no role in this process. We have been briefed, we have made our views known, almost entirely to a person against this proposal in this area of Fingal. So it's a reserved function for the management, and that's, I think, important to clarify. However, I've argued consistently since the 9 sites were identified that if there had to be one big plant, then it should go in an area where it was most likely to cause least disruption and more appropriately in an industrial type area. And for those reasons, I have consistently over the last 2 years argued that it should be in the Clonshaugh area.
Well, the people of Lusk, I'm sure, would be on your side with that one.
Yeah, I think so. And justifiably so. I mean, the whole issue here is about community burden, fairness and justice. The communities in this area have had to deal with a lot of waste and it's impacted severely on their local environment, such as the estuary. And I think it's just grossly unfair. And I think the terms of reference for the study were deficient insofar as the issue of community burden was not part of the selection criteria for sites. If it had been, these sites would not have been included.
I thought it was very good. I thought that man that was chairing the meeting, I thought he was excellent.
Damien.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant speaker.
And are you going to go along to one of the open days with Fingal County Council?
I am. Oh, I'm going to tell him that they'll have to stop it. Do you know what I mean? Not to bring it into the Lusk.
Yeah, I'd say it's only half time as regards the things the way it's going. Considering Lusk is 2 out of 3 chances of getting the landfill. It's a lot of people power has to be resolved between now and like I said, the end of June.
We've seen you at plenty of these meetings. Do you think they can accomplish anything, these meetings?
Oh, for sure. The officials and the county manager was put under serious pressure by the last campaign, or the campaign to date, particularly the 10,000 submissions. They do have an effect. And as it was said inside, officials are making these decisions. They're human the same as everyone else. They are open to pressure. To say that the councillors have no power or the politicians have no power, technically that's true, but they have lobbying power. And they do talk to the officials, they do talk to the county manager, and all the politicians need to be continuously lobbied. The heat needs to be revved up on this again. I'm privy to certain information that makes me more worried. We need to go stronger in this. It's not over till it's over, but we're at a crucial juncture now for Lusk. And we're going to have to fight this tooth and nail, get into the detail and the costings and the pipes and all that sort of thing. I'm from Skerries, as you know. I'm very worried for Skerries too, and Lochshinny, where I attended meetings. This will have an impact in this area. It does not suit the area. It doesn't suit the residents. Tourism, horticulture, fishing, you name it. It's not suitable for the area. At this point, I favour Clonshaugh. But I have to say, the discussion on smaller plants would come into play too, and maybe that should be looked at. And that's where the issue of costings and how much this will cost will have to be examined. We have smaller plants in Skerries, where I come from, Swords, and where's the other one? There's the third one, up in Malahide, I think. We have another one there. If there needs to be another smaller plant or a plant upgraded in an existing location to take some load, why can't we do it? There is a question mark about the need for it, I think, and the major spend. And I know there's a figure of 2.1 billion bandied about, but I think the words I'm hearing is more of the 500 million mark. But even so, that's 500 million we could put into Metro, or 500 million we could put into schools. We need to re-examine, do we need this plant? Will a smaller plant do it in a location that a community could accept it? Like they did in Donabate, like we did in Skerries, and like they did in Malahide and Sword. So the battle is ongoing. We seriously need to rev it up again, keep focused and keep going. As I said in there, it's like a football match. It's not over till the last kick of the ball. and there's going to be some battle along the way with this.
What did you think about what they were talking about inside there tonight?
I thought it was like really good how they give you all the information about like how it's going to be, where the location and all that. And one of the sites are near my school from at Cardiff. Like it's really close to my school. It's
just across the road from the school, isn't it?
Yeah, and my house is just in Ministers, so it's near my house as well. So it's going to be like I won't be able to go out and play, or I won't be able to do any of my sports anymore.
Brian Arnold, you're one of the organisers of tonight's meeting. What did you make of the turnout?
I thought the turnout was incredibly good, and everybody that was there was very, very committed. So I think people have realised the seriousness of the situation that we're in, and they're taking it on board, and this is going to be a big battle, and we're going to win it.
Councillor Farrell, you were one of the organisers of the first meeting here held last October, and here we are at the end of May, and the battle still continues.
Yes, and it will continue. I took a lot of satisfaction from the meeting tonight for the number of people from the areas where sites had been excluded, and they're not in this last tree, coming along to support their friends and colleagues in Lusk. The battle here has only started. The people here know what to do. They're mobilised and motivated. And we ensure now from now on that this treatment plant doesn't end up in Lusk.
And do you really think that meetings like this can actually accomplish anything?
Well, what it does is it shows the community that there is huge groundswell opposition to this. It also gives the ideal opportunity to motivate people and mobilise them, which happened at this meeting tonight. You know, so the people here are ready, they know what has to be done, and they start that tonight. And from then on, it will be a battle to ensure that when this process, which is now, the clock is ticking on this, when this process, part of the process ends, that Lusk won't be the one that's drawn out of a hat.
Margaret, what did you make of tonight's meeting?
It was a pretty good meeting, it was a good turnout. I think there's a lot of energy there, and I think people talked about anger, and I think that's sort of an appropriate word to use. I think that we're entitled to be angry, that we have had more than our fair share, and that it's time that we stood up. And I was very impressed with the people of Lusk tonight, that they were prepared to stand up and say enough is enough.
And are you living near any of the sites?
I live in Cardiff, yeah, so I would be pretty near to that site, the Newtown Cardiff site, yeah. But I don't think it's just about people that live in Cardiff. I don't think it's just about people who live in Lusk. I think it's, you know, it's people who live in Lusk, Rush, Skerries. We're all going to be affected by it.
It's going to be very interesting to see who will win, Samson or Goliath. But the people of Lusk have fought battles like this before, and successfully. So who knows how this one will end. For Fingal Community TV, I'm Lorcan O'Toole.